for joining us on News Nationwide. My name is Ronke Kolawole. Coordinating Minister for the Economy and Minister of Finance, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, says as part of efforts to make public financial management more efficient, the ministry introduced the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System, IPPIS, with the scheme leading to the discovery of 45,000 ghost workers and saving Nigeria 18 billion naira. Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala made this known in Abuja while presenting a scorecard at the 2013 ministerial platform. Ifeanyi Okafor has details. While we're waiting for that report to be ready, the Minister of Power, Professor Chinedu Nebo, has inaugurated an investigative panel to check constant system collapse resulting to power outage. Professor Nebo said the federal government is poised for reliable supply of electricity. Isaac Nkuma has details.
System collapse is the total seizure of electricity voltage from power generating plants to the transmission and distribution points. Its frequent occurrence in the nation's power sector is an issue the Minister of Power, Professor Chinedu Nebo, says must be addressed, hence the inauguration of this technical investigative panel. The sector.
System collapses in recent times, which has given rise to more than 15 in the last 5 months, calls for a critical look. The technical investigative panel is hereby constituted to investigate the causes of these collapses and proffer solutions aimed at forestalling future occurrences. Though a technical investigative panel, it is expected that the committee will also address human lapses we have found.
The Minister of State Power, Hajia Zainab Ibrahim Kuchi, and the Permanent Secretary, Ambassador Godnose Igali, urged members of the panel to be audacious in carrying out the assignment. The 13-man panel, headed by Engineer Fatai Olakpade, has 2 weeks to complete its assignments. In Abuja, Isaac Nkuma, NTA News.
Yobe State Governor Alhaji Ibrahim Gaidam has received 38 detained wives and children of suspected insurgents from the Joint Task Force Operation Restore Order 3, Yobe State. This is in line with the recommendations of the Presidential Dialogue Committee. Commissioner for Justice Ahmed Mustafa Goniri represented Governor Ibrahim Gaidam at the handing and taking over ceremony at the Presidential Lodge in Damaturu. Correspondent Mustafa Yusuf Musa reports.
The 38 detainees, who comprised of 17 women and 21 children ranging from 2 months to 15 years, were handed over to the state government by the Joint Task Force Yobe State Operation Restore Order 3. The JTF spokesman, Lieutenant Eli Dazaro, said the release, which was in compliance with the Defense Headquarters directives, is part of the federal government's commitment to resolving the insecurity issues in the country.
It is our hope that this release will serve the purpose it is meant to achieve.
The Commissioner of Justice, Barrister Ahmed Mustafa Gonari, also the chairman of the third-man committee set up by the state government for the rehabilitation of the detainees and eventual handing over to their respective parent or family.
We wish to sincerely thank the command for this very bold initiative. This, we believe, will go a long way in restoring peace in our various communities and the state in general.
He said the committee has set modalities to ensure that detainees are supported by the state government before their release. In Damaturu, Mustafa Yusuf Musa, NTA News.
An appeal is gone to the Chief Justice of Nigeria and Nigeria Judicial Council to investigate the activities of Justice Hope Oza of Awka Division of Anambra High Court on an alleged act of judicial rascality. The coordinator of Abuja Civil Society Forum, Oyetake Biniza, made the appeal while addressing newsmen in Abuja. Correspondent Femi Johnson reports.
While welcoming the declaration by the Chief Justice of Nigeria that there was no room for any judicial rascality, the coordinator says a situation where a court of appeal delivers a ruling and it is being set aside why the High Court judge refused to join the parties involved in the suit, but went ahead to rule against them.
We again call on the CJN and the NJC to immediately investigate Honorable Justice Hope O. Ozo of the Oka Divisions of Anambra State High Court, in line with the avowal not to allow judicial rascality in the land anymore. We remain resolute in our determination to make this case regarding ABGA the test of what lies ahead for the country.
The Abuja Civil Society Forum commended the National Judicial Council for querying the conduct of some judges in Nigeria and enjoined the council to look into the matter on ABGA leadership. In Abuja, Femi Johnson, NTA News.
Our first port of call on Nationwide is Lagos, as NAMA sheds more light on grounding of Oshomole's helicopter. Jennifer is our guide. Jennifer, you are on.
Thank you, Ronke. Hello, welcome to Lagos, and thank you for joining us. The Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, NAMA, says the helicopter FNBPX, operated by OAS, which conveyed the governor of Edo State, Adams Oshomole, to Oka, Anambra State, was grounded because the pilot failed to file his flight plan and manifest as required by aviation regulation. The managing director of Airspace Management Agency, Nnamdi Udo, made this clarification in Lagos at a media briefing. Vera Chiuba has more.
The managing director of Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, who was represented by the General Manager Public Affairs, Supo Atobatela, told journalists that NEMA acted professionally and in line with the rules and procedures governing the industry operations, and in view of the fact that the service borders on safety and security. He said filing of flight plan and passenger manifest is a globally acceptable procedure which is used to ascertain where the helicopter is going to and how many people are on board. This practice, he said, precedes a startup and when not followed, results in delay. These issues, Mr. Supo emphasized, should not be given political coloration, as NAMA is safety-driven and safety does not respect status, just like accidents don't discriminate.
Issues raised by our men on Friday at Benin Airport vis-a-vis filing of a flight plan and passenger manifest had no political undertone, but purely an aviation matter, bordering on rules and regulations. Immediately, the pilot complied with safety procedures, which are mandatory in line with the new aviation policy. He was allowed to leave.
The pilot of the helicopter, Captain Vane, a Korean, had apologized to NEMA for his failure to document the flight plan and pay the necessary fees. Flight plan is a useful tool for search and rescue in an emergency. In Lagos, Vera Chimuba, NTA News.
The Minister of Labour and Productivity says an aggressive implementation of the federal government's transformation agenda will lead to creation of more jobs and reduce poverty in Nigeria. The minister disclosed this at a meeting with a cross-section of employers of labour in Lagos. Abdullahi Mohammed has details.
Research has shown that most advanced economies of the world have continued to battle the menace of unemployment. However, the magnitude of the prevalence of unemployment varies from one country to the other. In the light of these, the Minister of Labour and Productivity, Emeka Wogu, told the stakeholders that in Nigeria, government has remained resolute in implementing its various job creation initiatives.
We've done a lot. The graduate internship scheme, the FEMA, the maternal child health, and the vocational skills development aspects of it are all components that have created jobs.
This, he observed, has led to the creation of an enabling environment for both small, medium and large-scale entrepreneurs to build businesses that will serve as the engine room for massive employment.
And it is not just purely the job of the Minister of Labour and Productivity. It is a collective effort because every sector now has been repositioned in such a way that jobs are being created.
Since he resumed office, he's been able to reduce the number of labor unrest in the country.
The breakfast meeting also gave some of the employers of labor the platform to express their concerns on some nagging issues, which the minister noted and promised to examine. From Lagos, Abdullah Mohammed, NTA News.
The federal government has taken adequate measures within the last 4 years to reduce its external and internal borrowing to the barest minimum. Director General Debt Management Office, Dr. Abraham Wankwo, stated this at a maiden public lecture in Lagos. Abdullahi Mohammed again reports.
Analyzing the downward trend in the amount of borrowing by the federal government, which is conspicuous in the budget within the last couple of years, Dr. Wankwo observed that it was deliberate. He said the federal government has continued to strictly implement budgetary strategies that will streamline government borrowing to a maximum of 3%.
Talking of Nigeria's Eurobond in international capital market, Nigerians have a very good news there. When the bond was issued in January 2011, it was issued at an interest rate, that's coupon, of 6.75%. But today, it is traded in the secondary market, in the international market, at a yield of only 4.6%. That shows that international community, international experts, international investors have strong confidence in the Nigerian economy.
Speakers at the maiden edition of the lecture agreed that Nigeria's exit from the Paris Club remains among the most positive economic decisions taken by government.
It was a very positive development in the history of this country. It is the aim of this lecture to provide a platform for all stakeholders to expand their public knowledge on public debt management and address gray areas.
They, however, called on the federal government to remain focused on its determination to manage its debts. From Lagos, Abdullah Mohammed, NTA News.
And Abdullahi's report wraps up our contribution from Lagos. It's now back to you, Ronke, for more on nationwide news.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. President Goodluck Jonathan has been presented with the award to Nigeria as the best country implementing the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, one in Sydney. NATO Chairman Ledum Mife says President Jonathan promises to close the gap between NET and the economic management team and to address NET's operational budgetary needs. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has warned politicians against overheating the polity by kickstarting campaigns on 2015 elections. Chairman of the commission, Professor Tahiru Jega, gave the warning in an interview with NTA News shortly after hosting management of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN. Correspondent Abdullahi Garba Brendan-Kudu reports.
Reacting to what he calls jumping the gun by starting 2015 campaigns, Professor Tahiru Jega described it as against electoral laws. He advised politicians to wait for the time when INEC will release necessary guidelines on 2015 elections for such campaigns or posters to begin or risks being sanctioned by law.
Until a timetable is issued, politicians should not really begin the formal process of campaigns. And the formal processes of campaigns is for people to be going around talking about their intention to stand for office or to produce posters and to circulate them or to even begin formal campaigns.
Earlier, while hosting the Acting Director General of FRCN and other top management, INEC pledged to sustain partnership for promoting INEC activities. The two parties discussed areas of cooperation to enlighten Nigerians on the oncoming voter registration and other electoral process.
The success of credible elections is really not the work of INEC alone. It is by and large the work of the citizens who are enlightened, who are mobilized.
Therefore, seek your partnership for an elaborate voter education on other programs and on our network service.
FRCN has dedicated a short 12 channel for enlightening Nigerians, including voter education. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Brunokudu, NTA News.
The Central Bank of Nigeria's policy on cashless economy has partially taken off nationwide with the enforcement of the maximum 150,000 naira cash withdrawal from third-party checks. The policy, which had been operational in Lagos since the takeoff of the CBN's cashless economic policy, took effect nationwide from the 1st of June 2013. Business correspondent Shion Olagunju takes a look at the policy and its implications for banks' customers.
The CBN says the 150,000 naira third-party check restriction does not stop banks' customers from having access to any amount of their money.
There are so many forms of payment that you can use. You can use a check, you can transfer money, you can use your card. So we really don't see why people need to carry that volume of cash. And we want to discourage it. It will help us monitor money flows, currency in circulation. It will help us reduce corruption. It will help us reduce money laundering, and then the people who want to use it for terrorist activities.
The restriction is a prelude to the full takeoff of the cashless policy in parts of the country.
We are expanding the cashless Lagos. Come July 1, we'll come to Abuja, we'll go to Ogun State, we'll go to Abia, we'll go to Kano, we'll go to Rivers.
Then, maximum daily cumulative cash transactions by individuals will be 500,000 naira and 3 million naira for corporate accounts. Anything above the limits will attract between 2 and 5% penalty charges. In Abuja, Shion Olagunju, NTA News.
Operators of microfinance banking have been warned to desist from manipulation of accounts and related offenses for the growth and development of the sector. Managing Director of the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, Omar Ibrahim, gave the warning at a one-day workshop organized for selected 7 microfinance institutions from across the country, including the FCT. Aliyu Kabiru reports. We were also waiting for that report to be ready. 5 people feared dead and several houses burnt by unidentified gunmen in Beniguari. This and more with Jumoke from our Kaduna Center. Hello, Jumoke. It is over to you.
Okay. Good afternoon and welcome to Kaduna. 5 people are feared dead and several others missing, while hundreds are currently taking refuge after unidentified gunmen attacked 3 villages in Beniguari local government area of Kaduna State. Correspondent Austin Anyebe reports.
The attackers came to the villages shooting sporadically with sophisticated weapons, burning houses, forcing the villagers to run for safety, leaving behind their belongings. Eyewitnesses described the incident as confusing.
The government to come to our aid. Look at the refugees.
Hundreds of people displaced by the government are now taking shelter at Company Doka Primary School. The Kaduna State government said efforts are being made with the security operatives to enhance border patrol, while SEMA has been directed to send relief materials to the displaced persons.
Excellency has directed the State Emergency Management Agency to provide some relief to some of the victims of the unfortunate incident.
The chairman, Beniguari Local Government Council, Idris Al-Hassan Musa, has provided relief materials and security to the camp.
The need for constant surveillance, constant patrol activities in that area and in all parts of the local government.
The 3 villages affected are Goron Duse, Angwamboshe, and Koni Heri. Communities in Beniguari and its environs have come under attacks by government in recent time, with one at Dogon Dawa fresh in memory. The police in Kaduna State said investigations are ongoing to unravel the cause of the incident. Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
The Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Defense, Bashir Adamu Kazauri, said funds appropriated to Armed Forces Commanding Staff College, Jaji, are inadequate to make any meaningful impact. The chairman disclosed this during an oversight function to the college. Correspondent Muhammad Lawal Baba reports.
The committee inspected projects carried out by the management of the college. They include renovation of 2 flats of 3-bedroom renovation of Armed Forces Command and Staff College headquarters, renovation and upgrading of sporting facilities, among others. Chairman of the committee said they will ensure additional funding to the college.
From what we have seen, the amount released so far for last year, of course, you know, there were challenges last year. The monies were not released on time and not even to the full expectation of the budgetary allocation. So with what they have received so far, I think kudos to the commandant and his team. And we're going to have a physical assessment also of some of the projects, those completed and those that are still ongoing.
Commandant Armed Forces Command and Staff College Jaji Air Vice Marshal Eko Effium Osim said even though underfunding was an issue in the college, it will not deter them from progressing. He said the college was able to carry along its host community by employing some of their youths. In Kaduna, Muhammad Lawal Baba, NTA News.
The Emir of Dutse in Jigawa State, Alhaji Nuhu Muhammad Sanusi, has cautioned parents against giving out their daughters early in marriage to safeguard their lives against vesico-vaginal fistula. The Emir gave the warning when he granted audience to the field coordinator of Doctors Without Borders, Dr. Angela Maketo, at his palace in Dutse. Correspondent Aminu Umar reports.
The Emir said early marriage contributes to complications in labor, which leads to vesico and vaginal fistula among teenagers. He advised parents to consider it important to allow their female wards to attain the age of puberty before marriage. The Emir also enjoins parents to enroll their children in schools in order to acquire the necessary education for religious and social development. Alhaji Nuhu Muhammad Sanusi assured of Dutse Emirates' readiness to support Doctors Without Borders in order to curtail VVF cases amongst women. Earlier, the field coordinator, Dr. Angela Makato, had said that the center, which operates in Jahun, had recorded 25% increase of women attendance from last year to date. Dr. Makato said their target is to save women in the state who suffer vesico and vaginal fistula. From Dutse, Amin Umar, NTA News.
The construction of parks for haulage vehicles along the highways in some parts of the country is yet to be completed following delay in execution of the project. Correspondent Alston Ayebe has the details.
The decision to build parks for haulage vehicles in some designated points across the country was as a result of the menace caused by indiscriminate parking of such vehicles along the roads. 30 flashpoints were identified by the Committee on Road Support Service, on which the board of FEMA approved the takeoff of 2 such parks in Kaduna, one at Maraban Jos and the other at Tafa in Kagurku local government area of the state. 3 years on, none of the project is completed, even though the fencing and compacting work almost completed. Efforts to hear from FEMA what has slowed down the pace of work failed, but investigation revealed that the Army engineers have been mobilized to continue with the work. When the Minister of State Works, Ambassador Bashir Yuguda, was taken on the matter, this is his response.
During end of the year, we engaged the Army to do a couple of things for us, especially on the control of illegal parking. And in the process of that, we engaged Army engineers to speed up what FEMA is doing on that one. You have seen the good work they have done.
In Kaduna, Austin Anyebe, NT News.
Thank you for watching our contribution from Kaduna. Ronke, it's back to you for more on News Nationwide.
Jumoke in Kaduna Network Center, we thank you. Landlords of sites for the nefarious activity of the production of counterfeit medicine will henceforth be arrested and prosecuted as accomplices of the counterfeiters. Director General of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, Dr. Paul Ohi, made the pronouncement at a media briefing on the agency's latest interception of packaging materials meant for faking codeine syrup and other seizures. Rabi Abdallah has the report.
by NAFDAC to announce the seizures of various counterfeit drugs and unwholesome regulated products within the last 2 months. The NAFDAC Director General explains the new trend where counterfeiters now operate by importing packaged materials aimed at faking products. He outlined seizures made in that regard to include packaging materials for the manufacturing of fake Olay Carrot Lightning Shower Cream and that of fake Shaw White Lightning Shower Cream worth several millions of naira. Emeka Eke, a suspect paraded at the briefing, was said to have been arrested in Lagos in connection with packaging materials imported with the intention of faking codeine syrup.
That somebody, a friend, said I should go and bring it for him. I don't know if that happened in the report. When I carried it to pass, they apprehended me.
People should watch out for illegal activities on suspicious production sites that they see. Maybe they should just inform us. You don't have to be sure that they are illegal production sites. If you see something that you think there's some production going on, inform NAFDAC and we'll find out if it is an approved site for drug manufacturing.
Present at the event was a delegation from the Ugandan Drug Authority in Nigeria to understudy NAFDAC's success story.
I've been talking to I have an enforcement officer. He has told me that the suspect, he had seen him in Uganda. This suspect here.
Suspect in Uganda?
Yes.